two things to talk about. I was thinking which one I wanted to do for the second service. So I originally was going to do music for this service, and then something else for the second service. When I'm going to flip it, I'm going to do the music for the second service, since I know that's what everybody's challenged with. And then for this service, we'll talk about, the topic will be Rebuke, Reproof, and Foolishness. So, Rebuke, Reproof, and Foolishness. We'll go to Proverbs 1. We'll start with verse 22. It says, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit on you, and I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and you have refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof again. I also will laugh at your calamities, and will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they have hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They have hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. So, of course, this is the wise Solomon speaking in Proverbs 1. And just breaking down how, a reproof or correction, rebuke is more of a challenge, but reproof is like, think about reprove. So it's kind of a correction. So in this kingdom, God knows we're born in sin and we're shaped in iniquity. So he knows we're subject to sin. Sin is a possibility. We have to do stuff to stay above sin. I've talked about that before. Like, we don't have to do nothing to be subject to gravity to sit in these chairs, but we need to do something to fly. We got to operate some aerodynamics or something to fly. Or, if you're like me, you can just leap, so you just hang out in the sky. So that's a joke. I don't leap anymore. But even when we jumped, even when we were taught to jump growing up in school, when I was in North New Jersey, they came out with this machine. It was called the leaper. It was like a new machine, and you would get under it, and it had resistance, and you would put it on certain resistances. You keep jumping up, going against that resistance. So when you wasn't under the machine, you could jump higher. Then we would wear weight jackets. Like, I played and ran in a 40-pound weight jacket because now I'm carrying this resistance. So when I took the jacket off, I could leap. So I was operating in the law of lift. So we have to do something to supersede the principle, the fixed principle called the law of gravity. Well, it's the same thing as a fixed principle, the law of sin and death. It's a fixed principle. We're born in that fixed principle. To be above that, we have to do something different. And then so God understands that. So anytime we get outside of, God has set up this system, we've talked about this before, this narrow way that leads to life. And so anytime we get outside of that system or get outside of that way, God reproves us or corrects us. Oh, no, come back. What are you doing? You're outside the lines. No, come back in here. And what Solomon is saying in Proverbs 1 is, people are rejecting a reproof. It's almost like they're ignoring it. Like God is saying stuff, he's counseling us. The scripture says people are kind of blinding themselves from God's counsel. God's counsel says, okay, well, based on the craziness that's going on in your life, I think you need to come back within the lines and get back on focus. And people going, oh, wow, that's powerful. You hear what God said today? Okay, now I'm going to go do what I want to do. He's like, so people are rejecting my reproof and my correction. They're sitting in my face, hearing my counsel, and doing the opposite of my counsel. They're coming against my reproof like it's okay. Like they got time. you could do it later. It only takes a moment to destroy your whole life. And so he's saying, okay, then what's going to happen is, he says, they rejected my reproof so long, if you get that when we got down to 28 to 30. He says, so in the midnight hour when the craziness happens, they're going to call on me then. He says, but I'm not going to hear them. He says, you know, you rejected my reproof, my correction. I told you which way to go. You went the way you wanted to go. He says, so live in it then. I was teaching in New Jersey on Friday, and I had used my brother as an example, my older brother, when I used to call him up. You know, his philosophy was, ain't nobody telling me what to do. I'm not trying to hear what nobody tells me what to do. And I said this, I was like, you know, it's my older brother, you know, I'm trying to talk to him. I'm saved now, living for God. So how do you talk to, you know, one, somebody older than you, and two, somebody ain't trying to hear nothing nobody's trying to say. And but every time I called, he would have an attitude. You know, well, not an attitude. You know, my brother, well, y'all might even think this about me. You know, New Jersey, you know, that just something about the community, you have a game face. You know, you got, you know, you're taught to be stoned. Like to play basketball, I can't go up and down the court. Hi guys, I'm going to cross over. No, you can't just, you know, that's just not that climate. You can't be standing on the corner of the streets of North New Jersey. Hey buddy, how you doing today? That person's about to rip you off. You're a victim at that point. So you learn to be stoned, even playing, and you don't talk. The other person don't count. You know, so you're so stoic. So people just be scared to talk to my brother. It's like, I want to say hi to your brother, but I think he's going to snap my head. I was like, nah, I can't talk to him. That's just his face. But I used to say this, if you're happy, if you're doing what you want to do, so you're doing exactly what you want to do. Now think now, you're doing what you want to do. So you should be happy. Everybody should be happy. So when I see y'all, everybody should be happy. So now imagine the New Jersey crowd. I said, so there should be no sad faces here. Because everybody's doing what they want to do. Everybody. So nobody should be sad. Like right now, I shouldn't get no emergency phone calls late tonight. I just need prayer this afternoon. No, you don't need prayer because did you turn your back on the reproof or the correction or the counsel of God? Are you following the counsel to the left? Because if you're following the counsel, you're good. If you're not following the counsel, you're getting what you want. You're reaping what you sow. So you should be fine. You know, what do you think, you know, this little moment of pleasure, what difference does it make? Well, evidently it's making a difference because some things are being affected in your life. So you're thinking you got time. But look at all the time that you wasted in compromise. So that's what he said. He said, oh, just in case, let's read it again. He says, verse 28, Proverbs 1:28. He says, verse 25, verse 24. It says, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. You pay my hand no mind. He says, but you have set at naught all of my counsel. So my counsel have no value to you. You would none of my reproof. Man, I don't even want to hear correction. I don't even want to hear that right now. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. He says, okay, so I'll also laugh at your calamity then. I will mock at when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, says, then you're going to call on me. Says, but I won't answer. Then you'll seek me early. You'll get up early now. He says, you won't find me. He says, because you've hated knowledge and you chose not to fear the reverence of the Lord. And so a lot of times when stuff happens, we go, why is God letting this happen? God's going, why'd you let it happen? Because if you listened to what I told you to do, you wouldn't be in that situation. Every choice we make from the moment I just said that has some fruit behind it, has some consequences to it. Every choice. Everything we participate in. Everything. From every moment. It's not like, you know, I talked about God this week. I'm thinking positive this week. You know, I'm really trying to turn my life around. Your choices still have consequences to them. Like you don't get a pass on making crazy choices just because you're deciding to live right. That's like I'm deciding to go purchase something from the store. Somebody just brings it to my house because I thought about getting it. No, I still got to go make the purchase. I got to make the investment. I got to make the exchange. And that's what he's saying. We good? Look at this, Proverbs 28. There's so much to this, so I know we're not going to get to all of it today. But we were talking about the heirs life the other week, how the heirs life is a challenging life. So it's a life where you'll be challenged, but you also have to challenge others. And as I was studying it out, I realized we don't challenge. We don't like challenge. We haven't liked challenge. That's a bad confession. And we haven't liked challenging others. It's almost like we're supposed to live this life, sit in the corner somewhere, and everything's supposed to just work out fine. Like we don't have to do nothing. So we see people stumbling and falling. If we pretend they're not there, then we don't have to take any responsibility. What? Oh, somebody fell this week? I didn't know that. Wow, man. I pray for him. You saw him falling. You saw him about to stumble. But you didn't want them to be disappointed or be mad at you or challenge you because you're challenging them. You ain't want to tell them the truth, because if you tell them the truth, then you might not be liked. So you'd rather be liked than to help them out. Then when you pacified, you watered them. Well, you don't understand, they've been through a lot. Okay, they've been through a lot, so you're going to assist in them going through a whole lot more. So you think the way to help them is just to keep them comfortable in all the lot that they're going through. I want to pacify. See, I was there for you. I was there for you. Now, there's going to be some hell going on tomorrow. But if you need me to comfort you so you can stay going through this craziness, listen, I'm going to be the person there for you. Why don't you really be there for them? And tell them the truth. Tell them they tripping. Tell them they need to change. Tell them tomorrow's going to be crazy unless you do something different. All right, look at Proverbs 28. Verse 28, look at this. This probably comes against everybody's theology here, but verse 23 says, "He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue." So a person that rebukes or challenges a person will get more favor than the person that's flattering the person. Now look at our lives. A lot of our lives is all about flattery. You be telling people stuff, you don't even like it. Oh, that looks nice. You don't look nice to you. You're like, oh, that's beautiful. That's off the hook. You know what? You did a good job. They did a terrible job. Why? You're better off not saying nothing. I'm not saying go around saying, "Oh my God, Ernest, please do not sing that song ever again." I'm not saying that. But let's not do the flip now. Let's not, oh, that was just wonderful. Woo, man. Anointing was all over me. I was just shaking. No good, well, wasn't no anointing over you. If anything, you need anointing to protect you from all that ugly sound that was coming out of that person's mouth. What's with the flattery? So you don't want no favor. Because the scripture says if you flatter somebody, because you're basically lying. Just for the record, just in case. You're lying. You don't, we talk all the time, because my wife has, everybody's designed different, so she has her own way of communicating. So I call it what do I call it? Kind of suggestive thinking. Like she was like, "Don't you like that?" Let's use that phrase. She might say, "Don't you like that?" Well, I love my wife, so if I don't like it, I don't want to answer the question. Like why you set me up to reject you or something or make you feel bad? So I be trying to figure out a way. Sometimes I don't answer. She's like, "Did you hear me?" I was like, yeah, I heard you, but my answer is not going to be favorable. Because no, I don't like that. So she said, "Well, just tell me you don't like it." I said, "Yeah, but why you put me in that position? Just ask me if I like it." But because what it is I'm a truth guy. I just don't know how not to say the truth.